following is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com. And we are live on the 4 p.m. 411. I hope we're live anyway. It looks like we're live, so we will just keep talking here as the man remotely works on things. I still hear music, though. So hopefully... Okay, now we have no music, so... All right, well, kind of a rocky start, but we are here nonetheless on the 4 p.m. 411. My name is Loyd Kirby. I guess we're going to hear random sounds for a little bit. And it is 7 minutes after 4 o'clock, time for the 407 411, I guess. Our guest today is Ellen Orns. Orns?
Orns.
I said it right?
Yes.
Okay. And she is the director of the Living Alternatives Pregnancy Resource Center, which has offices in Bloomington as well as in Lincoln, correct?
Correct.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I apologize for the rocky start here, but fortunately my manager was able to remote in and save the day. So the Living Alternatives Pregnancy Resource Center, can you tell us a little bit about the center, what it does, mission, all sorts of things?
Absolutely. So we are a pregnancy resource center, but we are also a medical clinic. So we have multiple locations throughout Illinois and Indiana, and I'm responsible for the locations in Bloomington and in Lincoln. And the Bloomington Center partnered with the Lincoln location, who is part of our organization, but before that, they just mainly provided resources. But we partnered with them to be able to provide medical services back in the end of 2021.
Okay.
We went through a medical conversion, and now we offer medical services in the Lincoln location as well as in Bloomington. So we provide free pregnancy tests, ultrasounds, STI testing. They are all overseen by a licensed nurse who is overseen by a local doctor. And then we have a medical director over the entire organization. So we will treat them like any other patient, where we will follow HIPAA and follow all the rules that need to happen on the medical side. But we also have a resource side for our organization as well. So we have what we call HOPE, which stands for Helping Others Parent Through Education. So we have the education they would need through all the stages of pregnancy, infant care, labor and delivery, all of those things. And through the education classes, they can earn things like diapers, wipes, clothing, car seats, cribs, all of those things.
Wow. Okay. And where's the facility located in Lincoln?
It's on Union Street, 308 North Union Street.
308. I believe that used to be a medical facility back in the day, I think.
I don't know.
I remember my grandmother.
Way before my time.
Right, yeah. My grandmother was from Lincoln, and she, I think it was Dr. Walensky used to practice there, if I remember correctly. I don't know why that stuck in my mind, but it did. So you mentioned the variety of services the organization offers.
Yes.
Are there any requirements for one to utilize those services in terms of, must they be a resident of Lincoln? Must they be a certain age or a certain income level or anything like that?
Absolutely not. Everybody is welcome to come. They don't have to be a resident of Lincoln or Logan County. We've had people come from other locations just because that's what worked for their schedule, or they didn't want other people to know that they were seeking services, whatever it is. So we will protect your confidentiality. So there's no residential requirement. There's no income requirement. We don't check for any of that. And all of our services are free.
Okay. And suppose someone finds themselves interested in utilizing their services. What is the process for them to come utilize your services?
Okay.
That seems to be the only phrase I can come up with.
Yeah, so they can find us online. They go to our website. It's pregnancyresourcecenter.org, and they can they can request an appointment. They can call our facility there in Lincoln and request an appointment. We also, if our availability allows for it, we also take walk-ins. So if they're in the area and they're like, I just need to know if I'm pregnant, I need to know how far along I am, any of those things, we can, if we can accommodate it, we will take the walk-in as well.
Okay. So if you have questions of Ms. Orns, 217-648-5510, the number to call, and you can speak with her live here on the show, or you can send us an email, 4pm411 at WLCNonline.com. programming note, we'll let you know that next week Adam Quine and Kelly Owens will be with us. They are from the Center for Creativity and Community, which is located at First Presbyterian Church in Lincoln. And also tomorrow on Viewpoint, Bill Gossett will have Sheriff Mark Landers in the studio. So that happens 8:15 to 9 a.m. tomorrow. But as I mentioned, Ellen Orns is with us, the director of the Living Alternatives Pregnancy Resource Center. So you mentioned all your services are free.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to do that, I'm guessing you must have sponsors and lots of resources that allow you to do the things that you do.
Right. So we are a 501c3. We are a nonprofit,
Okay.
and we raise our budget every single year. So
Oh,
we have the support of many businesses and individuals in Lincoln, Logan County, and in McLean County. And we also have churches that support us. And like I said, businesses. We also have general fundraisers that we have. We have one coming up on April 22nd. It's our walk. So you can sign up to do a 2-mile walk. You can walk with us on the 22nd, or you can walk anytime before that. But all we ask you to do is to sign up, be a walker, and then ask people to support you or raise pledges for you as you do a 2-mile walk in support of the Pregnancy Resource Center.
okay.
And then we have a day where we come together, and we have prizes, door prizes. We have top walker gifts. We're going to feed you some food and just have a good time.
Okay. And that we've got the graphic up on our live stream right now. The event takes place at the Lincoln Rec Center
Yes.
out next to the high school at 1400 Prim Road. Looks like registration is at 9 a.m. and then the group walk is at 10 a.m.
Correct.
And so if folks are interested in registering, we've got a QR code on the screen here, but how would they go about doing that if they don't have access to? Is there a number
So
to call or go online?
we have an event website. So
Okay.
it's lnprcevents.org. And then everything you need to know is there. The time, the date, location, what our prize incentives are. We have T-shirts that we'll pass out, merch items that we'll give out, and then a button that they just click, and then they'll take it right to the registration page.
Okay. Any other events coming up you would like to promote? We'll give you a couple shots here to get the word in
Yes.
about those.
So, like I said, we are here just to support women, provide the medical services, provide the resources. And one of the events that we have coming up on Thursday, so just on 2 days, on the 23rd, is what we call curbside care. So, if you are in need of diapers or wipes, you can come to our location on Union Street. We have a number that you can call when you pull up. You don't even have to get out of your car. You can let them know what size diapers you're needing or any other resources. You'll fill out a little bit of paperwork. We'll let you know about the resource classes that we have. If you want to join them, great. If not, we're not going to force that on you. And then we're just giving out the diapers and wipes on the 23rd.
Okay. And that, of course, you said takes place at your facility located
Yes.
on Union Street
Correct.
in Lincoln. Why don't we go ahead and take our first break now? We will be back with more from Ellen Orns. Once again, if you have questions or comments, feel free to give us a call, 217-648-5510, or you can send us an email at 4pm411 at WLCNonline.com. But we will be back in a couple minutes with more from Ellen Orns from the Living Alternatives Pregnancy Resource Center. And we are back on the 4 p.m. 411 as we are talking with Ellen Orns, who is the director of the Living Alternatives Pregnancy Resource Center with centers in Lincoln as well as in Bloomington.
Correct.
Where's the Bloomington facility located?
In Bloomington, we're located at 127 North Williamsburg Drive.
I know Bloomington, but what's that close to?
Do you know where Lowe's is?
Mm-hmm.
So Lowe's, that stoplight there is actually Williamsburg Drive. So if you just take that south, that's where you're going to find us.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we mentioned you have the facilities here in Lincoln as well.
Yes.
You talked about fundraisers and events coming up. We also talked about the fact that you are a nonprofit, so things like volunteers or people who would like to donate either time or labor or goods to your organization, I'm sure would be most welcome.
Yes.
Is there anything in particular that your organization is in need of in terms of donations or that you could use more support with?
We could really use volunteers, actually. So I'm full-time and I oversee both Bloomington and Lincoln. And then we have 2 staff members in Lincoln and they are both part-time. Okay. So right now we are open on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 to 4. And we would like to be able to expand the resources available to the community. So we need volunteer support to do that. So you can do it in a number of ways of financial giving, signing up for the walk, or volunteering your time. You can do general stuff, helping with mailings and just things that have to happen throughout the day. Or you can sign up to be what we call a hope mentor. When somebody is going through the education classes, we want them to know that they're not alone, they are supported, and somebody cares about them. So we have somebody that just meets with them once a week for their classes and supports them along the way. We also have volunteers that work with our nurses there at the facility, and they are just basically there as a support. Everything we do is to uplift the woman, let her know she's not alone, there's resources available, and someone cares about her. So they just sit down and say, what's your story? How can we help you as you process what to do with your pregnancy?
Now, along that line, we were talking in break about, in this particular topic, I guess, there are some who have certain political ideas or mindsets. Are there any sort of myths or misconceptions about your facility of what you do or what you don't do that you'd like to educate the public about?
Yes, I would. I mean, we honestly are here as a safe, non-judgment place, and I think sometimes the misconception is that we are there to force them into a particular decision, and that's not what we're here about. We're not going to coerce her or badger her or force her into any type of that decision. We are here to provide excellent care medically, compassionate support, and honest information to those that are facing pregnancy decisions. And we do that by being with them on a community level. We're going to support them. We're going to love on them. We're going to foster that community for her and walk through her pregnancy with her. So I think sometimes they think that we're there to judge them. That is not the case. We're not going to force them to listen to all the reasons why. We're going to answer her questions. What's her need? What does she need from us?
And once again, we talked about this before, but if folks find themselves in need of your services, you talked about the ways they can get in contact with you and make appointments and so forth. You also mentioned you have counseling services, medical services, medical personnel that work with you. Where do those folks come from? Like, are they part of your staff? Do they volunteer from local medical organizations, or how do those medical folks get involved with your organization?
So we do have a nurse manager on staff. Every location has that. So there's always going to be a licensed medical nurse that's on staff there. Our nurse in Bloomington also supports the medical services in Lincoln, so she oversees both locations. But we also have nurses that are just want to help women that volunteer. So we have nurses that have just come to us because they want to volunteer. We have doctors that oversee our services that we have a doctor that reviews every single ultrasound that is done to make sure that medically nothing is being overlooked, and those doctors usually offer those services on a volunteer basis as well.
Okay.
But we also have a medical director over all of us, setting the policies and the best practices and the procedures and making sure we're following HIPAA and following all the procedures that we need to.
So the facility, it's a resource center, but it's not just like a wall full of brochures. You've got a full staff and educate people who will educate, people who will counsel, people, medical folks as well. So it's really sort of a one-stop shop of a lot of different services.
Right. So we do have the licensed people that are there medically. We have the volunteer mentors as the counseling that can come alongside with them. And then if there's a need for further, deeper counseling, we would definitely make the proper referrals. We have staff on board that's going to process make sure that any donation that come in is held with integrity and taken care of the way it needs to. So we have the staff support, and then we have the volunteers that come with us.
And we talked about the need for donations, volunteers, support in all sorts of forms. You also talked to me a little bit about just trying to get the word out that you are located in Lincoln and you're
Yes.
available for folks. We mentioned the fundraiser in April. We also mentioned the upcoming giveaway event this coming Thursday. You've got another event in April coming up as well. We wanted to be sure to let folks know about.
So Guest House Coffee has very good coffee, and they are very generous to us. They support what we do, and they're always wanting to give back to the community as well. So we are partnering with them to have a free coffee morning. So it is going to be on April 8th. It's a Saturday morning. I don't know the time yet because we're trying to figure out a few logistical things. But just if you are on Guest Coffee's list or any of the email blasts for community resources, we are going to be getting that out, information out as soon as we get the time set. But it will be on April 8th, and we're going to give out some diapers there as well as coffee.
Okay. And of course, I'm guessing you'll have folks there that if people have questions and seeking
Correct.
information, they'll be able to get some answers there
Absolutely.
as well. Okay, very good. So that will be at Guest House on April 8th, you said,
Yes.
Saturday. So, all right. Why don't we go ahead and take our second break here? We're not quite 10 minutes along, but we'll go ahead and do that now. And we will be back with Ellen Orns, the director of the Living Alternatives Pregnancy Resource Center, located in Lincoln as well as in Bloomington. Once again, if you have questions, 217-648-5510, the number to call, or you can send us an email at 4pm411@wlcnonline.com. We'll be back with Ellen in just a couple minutes.
If you're an ally of this community, speak out. There are more of us together than apart, and so they need you to stand with them.
411. Our guest is Ellen Orns, the director of the Living Alternatives Pregnancy Resource Center, with offices in Lincoln as well as in Bloomington. We talked during the break. I was nosing around your website in preparation for your visit here. I noticed you also have some residential support that you can offer folks. Can you tell us a little bit about
Sure,
that?
absolutely.
And who qualifies for that?
Yes. So we have found that sometimes people just need to remove themselves from like toxic situations and remove themselves from an environment that's just not healthy for them. And so we have two different residential programs. We have what's called Mercy's Refuge. It's in Champaign. Anybody can go to it. There's an application process, and it is an intentional process of relearning healthy habits. We are faith-based, so they can have an opportunity just to kind of maybe grow in your faith if that's an avenue that you're choosing to go. And so that is a 6 to 9 month program that they could go through, and hopefully we can help them with that. And then we also have Birchwood Apartments up in the Kankakee area, where sometimes you need assistance with housing. You got some of the other things taken care of, but if we can remove that burden of the housing, then sometimes you can, get on your feet and really start to prosper. So we have those two different opportunities in Illinois.
And those, again, are open to anyone who would utilize your facility, whether they're in Lincoln or Bloomington or one of the other offices.
There's limited spacing, of course, so they would just go through the application, but, it's available for anybody to apply. Okay. Absolutely.
And again, if folks are interested in that or any of your services, is there a phone number we can throw out there for them?
Well, the best thing to do is to go to our website, because it will show you all the locations that we have, because we have locations all the way down in Jacksonville. We have up in the Joliet, Bourbonnais area. So that would be the best place to go, and it's pregnancyresourcecenter.org.
Okay. Once again, we're talking with Ellen Orns, the director of Living Alternatives Pregnancy Resource Center. She manages or directs the Bloomington and the Lincoln offices. Let's talk a little bit about Ellen. How did you come into this position, or what's your background that you decided this would be something you would like to do?
So actually, it happened a long time ago. I had moved to the area. I was planning to get married, and my future husband's mom was one of those people that was volunteering at the center, and so she was trying to decide whether or not she wanted to go on staff and had the parenting program and do some of those aspects there. And I
just have to say that story turned out a lot better than I thought it was when you said you were moving to the area, and then my future husband's mom. There were a number of ways that could have gone. So I'm glad it went that way.
Surprise, happy twist. So she had told me about what she was doing, and I'm like, that's a really neat idea to be there and to provide those support. And I'd never heard of anything like that, because where I grew up in Ohio, we didn't have that resource. So my first real interaction with the organization is just participating in their walk fundraiser every spring. And one thing led to another, and I have a super wonderful mother-in-law. Thankfully, I don't have those horror stories that some people have, but she was sharing some of my organizational skills because I had triplets, and so I was just trying to survive. But apparently, they just felt like I could help them with planning some events, and I started doing that back in 2010. And I just proceeded to do more and more for the organization, and I really love the heart of them wanting to help women and empower them and being supportive of them. So that's how I got here.
Yeah, very good. So is all of your experience with the organization, has it been like in the Bloomington/Lincoln area?
Yes.
Okay.
And every quarter, all of the locations kind of gather together for more training. So I can speak into the leadership of the organization of being very caring and intentional, and the other leaders in the other communities is top notch.
So as director of the Bloomington and the Lincoln locations. What is your biggest challenge that you face on a recurring basis?
So I think a lot of the misconceptions of why we're there is a barrier. And then I feel like we are the best kept secret in McLean County and Logan County. And I keep trying to let people know that we're here. Number one, for volunteers and support, but mostly that we are there to support women. So just getting the word out that we have these services that are available.
Okay. And so did you have any kind of a, like a, I don't know what would be an appropriate, like a medical type of interest or background as in your,
I have my personal background is I have a bachelor's in business, so that's where I come into play. I don't have the medical credentials. I leave that to the experts. So my role is strictly more of the administrative part of it.
But coming to the organization with that business knowledge, I'm certain was, there are obviously some transferable skills, but
Absolutely.
Otherwise it's more of a labor of love. I'm guessing for you.
Yes. If you have a heart for women, a heart for helping those as they process those decisions, if you care about her life just as much as the baby's life, then we would love to talk to you. But we want people to know that we value both of them. Neither one is more important than the other. The woman she's a precious person just as much as that baby, and so we're just here to help and support her.
Okay, I asked you what's the biggest challenge you face. What is maybe the most rewarding aspect of what you do with the organization? Is there a certain incident or a story that maybe you can share, or something in general that, obviously adhering to HIPAA regulations
Absolutely.
and those kinds of things, but is there something that sort of makes it all worthwhile as far as coming in?
So there are countless stories that I would love to be able to share, and sometimes we get permission to share those stories and sometimes we don't, but you see them when they come in and they're going through, I don't want to define it as a crisis. It's their situation that they're going to. I'm not going to define it for them, but they are definitely heavy. And then they find out that somebody's there and they have resources available to them, and somebody's going to walk through this process with them, and no matter what, and even if they would choose to get an abortion, we are still there for them afterwards. Another aspect of our support is that we do have post-abortive support, so if they are struggling with that decision, we're going to be there on that side too. Life is hard, and we're not going to add judgment or anything to an already hard hard life. So seeing the help that people get, and there's one girl in particular, she has forever touched my heart, and I love her. I don't know her that well, but she is very precious. So just being there to see those stories and being part of that help.
Have you had an occasion where someone has maybe utilized the services of your organization and then come back after X number of years and shared a story about what a valuable resource you were, or kind of let you know how things turned out for them?
We do actually get those stories. We have people, I think one of the biggest praises when someone goes through our program, whether it's just for the medical services or the HOPE services or whatever it is that we help them with, and then they send someone else to us.
Oh, okay.
We get client referrals all the time, or they go through the process, they have a baby several years later, like they're pregnant again and they still need resources, or it's been too long since I had a baby, I need a refresher course, whatever the thing is, so that they come back. And there's those stories. We have people that have gone through our resources, and then they come to our fundraisers and help, support the services there too. So definitely we have people come back and are appreciative of what we've helped them with.
Okay, very good. So kept you a few minutes late, but we got started a few minutes late, so I don't get paid overtime, I'm not sure. And you said you were a nonprofit, so I'm guessing you don't either. But we want to thank Ellen Orns for being with us, the director of the Living Alternatives Pregnancy Resource Center. What was the website address again if folks want more information?
pregnancyresourcecenter.org.
Okay. And I'll put one more plug out there. You've got the event coming up this Thursday. If you want
Yes.
to tell folks about that one more time here.
Sure. It's called Curbside Care. It's at our Lincoln location at 308 North Union Street. It is from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. If you're in need of diapers or wipes, please stop by. We'll be happy to help you out with your needs and share a little bit of information about our other programs for you.
Okay, very good. So once again, thanks to Ellen Orns for being with us. Next week, we will have Adam Quine and Kelly Owens from the Center of Creativity and Community located at First Presbyterian Church in Lincoln. And tune in tomorrow, 8:15 a.m. for Viewpoint with Bill Gossett as he talks with Sheriff Mark Landers, Logan County Sheriff Mark Landers. But this has been the 4 p.m. 411. So thanks again to Ellen Orns for joining us. I am Loyd Kirby, and we will talk to you next week. The preceding program is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.